The world's most advanced passenger jet, capable of carrying over 850 souls across oceans in unprecedented luxury, became aviation's most spectacular miscalculation. Airbus bet $25 billion that airlines wanted bigger. They were catastrophically wrong. What followed wasn't just the death of an aircraft, but the systematic dismantling of a vision so ambitious it blinded one of the world's greatest aerospace companies to a simple truth. The market had already moved on. The ghost planes appeared first in Tarbes, France, a remote airfield where aviation dreams go to die. Between 2020 and 2023, these colossal A380s arrived one by one, their engines silenced forever. Each aircraft stretched 73 meters from nose to tail, with wingspans wider than a football field. Yet despite their imposing presence, they became invisible, written off corporate balance sheets, erased from fleet plans, forgotten by the very airlines that once celebrated them. But here's the unsettling part. These weren't ancient relics from aviation's past. Some had logged fewer than 10 years of service, Emirates' retired aircraft that had barely reached adolescence. Lufthansa parked theirs permanently after just 12 years in the sky, the youngest victim, an A380 that flew for merely 6 years before being sentenced to dismantlement. What could render such magnificent machines obsolete so quickly? The answer lies not in mechanical failure or safety concerns. These jets were engineering masterpieces, meticulously crafted and virtually flawless. No, something far more devastating had occurred. The world Airbus had built them for had completely vanished, replaced by a reality nobody at the company headquarters in Toulouse had anticipated. The visionary gamble began in 1990 when Airbus executives gathered in Toulouse with a singular obsession: destroy Boeing's monopoly on jumbo jets. For 2 decades, the Boeing 747 had reigned supreme, an uncontested giant that printed money while Airbus watched from the sidelines. But the European consortium saw an opening. Air travel was exploding. Passenger numbers were doubling every 15 years. Major airports like London Heathrow and Tokyo Narita were running out of runway slots. The solution seemed obvious: build something even bigger. If airports couldn't handle more flights, each flight would carry more people. Airbus committed €10 billion to developing the A380, the most expensive commercial aviation program in history. They envisioned a flying palace, double-decker luxury spanning 2 full passenger decks, capable of transporting up to 853 people in high-density configuration. Airlines could install cocktail bars, duty-free shops, even showers for first-class passengers. Boeing dismissed the concept entirely. Their rival was developing the 787 Dreamliner instead, a smaller, more fuel-efficient twin-engine jet designed for point-to-point routes. The philosophies couldn't have been more different. Airbus believed in the hub-and-spoke model, massive planes shuttling crowds between mega airports. Boeing bet on flexibility and efficiency. By the year 2000, Airbus had secured enough orders to proceed. The A380 would fly. Skeptics existed, certainly, but momentum had become unstoppable. The company had staked everything on being right about the future of air travel. Engineering the impossible required mobilizing 16 countries across 4 European nations. Airbus orchestrated the most complex industrial collaboration aviation had ever witnessed: wings manufactured in Britain, fuselage sections built in Germany and France, tail assemblies constructed in Spain, each component then transported via specially modified ships and oversized cargo aircraft to final assembly in Toulouse. The specifications defied belief. 4 Rolls-Royce Trent, 900 engines, each producing 70,000 pounds of thrust, a maximum takeoff weight of 560 metric tons, heavier than 500 cars combined. The wing area alone measured 900 square meters, large enough to park 70 automobiles. Engineers solved problems nobody had encountered before: how to evacuate 850 passengers in 90 seconds, how to pressurize a fuselage that massive, how to land something weighing over 500,000 kilograms without collapsing the landing gear. On April 27, 2005, the first A380 lifted off from Toulouse. 50,000 spectators watched the maiden flight, a flawless demonstration lasting 3 hours and 54 minutes. Airbus had done it. They'd built the largest passenger aircraft in history, shattering every record Boeing's 747 had held for 36 years. The golden promise arrived on October 25, 2007, when Singapore Airlines launched the first commercial A380 service from Singapore to Sydney. Passengers entered a flying hotel unlike anything aviation had seen. The upper deck featured private suites with sliding doors, full flat beds, and personal wardrobes. The lower deck housed a cocktail lounge and duty-free boutique. Some configurations included onboard showers, actual running water at 40,000 feet. Airlines rushed to outdo each other. Emirates ordered 58 aircraft initially, envisioning an empire built on super jumbos connecting Dubai to every major city on Earth. Qantas installed a first-class bar. Korean Air added a celestial-themed lounge with mood lighting. Etihad created 3-room suites called The Residence, complete with living room, bedroom, and private bathroom, selling for $32,000 per ticket on certain routes. The economics looked irresistible. Each A380 could replace 2 smaller wide-bodies, cutting airport fees and gate costs in half. Fuel burn per passenger dropped by 15% compared to the 747. Airbus projected airlines would need 1,200 super jumbos over the next 20 years. Orders climbed toward 300 aircraft. This was the future, premium travel at unprecedented scale. London to Los Angeles with 599 passengers. Sydney to Dubai with 800 souls aboard. The hub airports Airbus had bet everything on. Heathrow, Dubai, Singapore, Hong Kong embraced the giant enthusiastically. Boeing's smaller Dreamliner suddenly seemed timid, even obsolete. Airbus had revolutionized aviation itself. Cracks in the foundation appeared quietly, almost imperceptibly at first. While Airbus celebrated delivery milestones, airlines discovered uncomfortable truths about operating the super jumbo. The A380 required specialized infrastructure, reinforced runways, strengthened taxiways, modified jetways, and upgraded ground equipment. Airports spent millions accommodating each aircraft. Worse, the giant could only operate profitably on ultra-high demand routes. Flying 800 passengers meant finding 800 passengers willing to travel the same route simultaneously. But here's what Airbus hadn't anticipated. The world was fragmenting, not consolidating. Passengers increasingly demanded direct flights rather than connecting through massive hubs. Why endure a layover in Dubai when newer twin-engine jets could fly non-stop from secondary cities? The Boeing 787 Dreamliner, that supposedly timid alternative, was opening routes previously impossible. Airlines launched services connecting cities like Austin to Frankfurt, bypassing traditional mega-hubs entirely. The economics started unraveling. Fuel prices spiked in 2008, making the A380's 4 engines a liability despite per-passenger efficiency. Maintenance costs ballooned. 4 engines required 4 times the servicing. The aircraft needed near-perfect load factors to break even, meaning empty seats represented catastrophic losses. Meanwhile, twin-engine wide-bodies offered flexibility. Fly them full on popular routes, redeploy them instantly when demand shifted. By 2015, new orders had slowed to a trickle. Airlines that initially committed dozens of aircraft quietly reduced their fleets. The 1,200 super jumbos Airbus projected, reality delivered barely 250 firm orders. Something had gone terribly wrong. Chapter 6. The Unraveling. The unraveling accelerated with brutal efficiency. In January 2019, Airbus made the announcement executives had dreaded for years. A 380 production would cease entirely. The final aircraft would roll off the assembly line in 2021. Total production? Just 251 units, a catastrophic shortfall from the 750 needed to break even. Emirates, the program's largest supporter, had cancelled its final order for 39 aircraft. Without that anchor customer, the entire business case collapsed. Airbus had lost an estimated $25 billion on the program, making it one of the most expensive commercial failures in aviation history. The financial devastation extended beyond Airbus headquarters. Suppliers across Europe had invested billions in specialized tooling and facilities. Thousands of jobs evaporated. Entire factories built exclusively for A380 components faced closure. But the psychological blow cut deepest. Airbus had challenged Boeing's dominance with absolute confidence, convinced their vision of aviation's future was inevitable. Instead, they'd misread everything. Passenger preferences, airline economics, airport evolution, even technological trajectories. The super jumbo era had ended before it truly began, leaving behind only those ghost planes in Tarbes, silent monuments to hubris. The lessons from the sky are written in aluminum and carbon fiber, scattered across desert boneyards where super jumbos await dismantling. The A380 wasn't a failure of engineering. It was a masterpiece of technical achievement. The failure was strategic, building for the world Airbus wanted rather than the world that existed. Boeing's smaller, flexible twin-engine jets now dominate long-haul routes. Airlines operate point-to-point networks connecting secondary cities directly. The hub-and-spoke model Airbus bet everything on has fragmented into something far more distributed. Those remaining A380s still flying, mostly with Emirates and Singapore Airlines, serve as reminders that vision alone cannot bend market forces. Innovation requires not just technical brilliance but humility, the wisdom to listen when customers whisper what they actually need. Sometimes the future arrives quietly, in smaller packages, flying routes nobody predicted.